Hello everyone, welcome to the Shocking Shark tutorial. Today we are going to use pastel and watercolor, and we will start off with using our pencil to draw the picture first. I love this little shark picture because it's a quick, easy one and it's really cute. All right, so what we're going to start off with is our water. So I'm just going to make some waves across my page. Then I'm going to start in one corner and I'm going to come all the way up and back down like the shark is popping out of the water. Then I'm going to do the same thing but just sort of parallel to that first line, and I'm going to come from a point right here and come out, up and back down, and put two eyes on the side for some reference. And then right here is where we're going to make his big mouth and his big teeth. So I'm going to come up and back down again. And this line, instead of going straight across, I'm going to slightly curve it. And then that's where I'll put some teeth in. These are a little more jagged along the bottom, and then jagged at the top. And then that's it. We get to use our pastels and really make this pop. So I'm going to start with my black pastel. I like to, when you're using your pastel, remember to hold close to the bottom so that when you press down, you're not going to snap it. And if you do, they still work good, but it's nicer to have a longer piece to work with. So hold close to the bottom. And then we're just going to outline all of those pencil marks using your helper hand to stabilize your paper so it doesn't move so much when you're working. You're just going to go along those lines until you have them all covered up. Coming down here. Now this part may be a little tricky because it's a little finer, but do your best. And you might find that you have to make your teeth a little bigger than you originally had. And don't worry if you don't go quite on the line, you could erase that later, or you could just leave it. All right, so then what I'm going to do is pick my shark color. I'm going to use a light blue because I'm going to put a dark blue on the bottom, and I kind of want to make sure it's not all one color. And if you've taken my tutorials before or been to art class with me, you know I like to then use this to blend into the black, and I think it just adds a nice bit of character to your picture, and you can see that they're blending together. And even if when you did your black you've got some white in there, then it sort of blends that in together without even having to use your finger, and I really like that. So I'm going to come down in here all the way up into the top here. There, that looks really good. And actually with my black, I forgot, I want to keep this, I don't use a lot of black for coloring because I find it very unforgiving, but with this one, you really want it to be a deep dark hole in his mouth, that he is kind of got his mouth wide open like rawr, and you can imagine how black that would be in that huge shark's mouth. So I'm just going to take my black and color in. And if I'm going a little too fast for you, remember that you can pause the video where you're at so that you can catch up. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my actually no, I'm going to do this part here. And take this nice light, more like an apricot or peach. They call it pale orange. I'm gonna go in here, and I'm not gonna worry about those black marks going in. I actually really, really like that look. So gives it some texture, and it's totally random, right? Every picture will be a little bit different. So I'm gonna come over here and get into this area. All right, in here. Oh, I think that looks so good. Love that color contrast. You could have a pink shark, a purple shark, any color you want. Okay, so there's that. I hope when you're using your pastels, you just really grow to love them because they are so fun to use. Now I'm gonna take my dark blue and get this water, and that's just such a nice pop of color. It's really rich, really dark. And I'm just going to go right up to, and if you want, you can turn your paper if you like to go side to side, and then it still gives it that flow, that nice flow instead of up and down, because the water's probably, I mean, you could make it choppy, right, by going like this, but it would still be going left to right. So sometimes you have to turn your paper to give you that. And so you can play around with your direction in this one. If you want to make it choppy, still going up and down or left to right. And don't worry too much about white spots, because we're going to take our watercolor out and we can do a little dabs in there. So there you go. That's all we have to do for the first part. Then you're going to make sure that you have your watercolors, a glass of water, and a paintbrush. And remember, when you're working with your watercolors, that you don't want to take your brush and smush it down into the paint. You want to be gentle with it, so kind of, you can lightly, let me just move this in actually. You can lightly press into it. It's kind of like, I call it in my class disturbing it, like waking it up. But you want to be sort of gentle with it, because you're gonna wreck your brush if you're like shh and get it all frayed. So just work your brush, just kind of pushing it around, but you do want it to be watery in there. It's a fine line of being too watery and not watery enough. And then what I want to do is I want to show you how you can kind of come into those white spots. And the pastel will resist most of the paint, but then pick up. And then I'm going to try some of this dark blue too, but then it will pick up in the white parts that don't have pastel. It'll pick up the paint, and then that kind of just gives it a nice little effect, a nice choppy effect in the water. And then we're going to do the sky. So what you could do here is you could play around with your color. You don't have to do a blue sky. You could do any color of sky you want. You can do a blue sky, but my son really likes the color green, so I thought I would experiment with green on the video, just to give it more of a portrait look. And you could even put, I've got blue mixed in with my green, but that's okay. Sometimes that comes up really nice on the page when the colors are mixing on their own. And so you can decide what background you want for this. And I'm just gonna come around here, and I don't have to be too careful, because I do wanna make sure that my brush strokes are kind of consistent up and down or across. Give it a smooth look, but I don't have to be too careful with watching out for my pastel, because will just push that color right off unless you have white spots there. That's what I really like about using pastel in watercolor, or even crayon in watercolor if you don't have pastels. And then there you go. That's your shocking shark, and that's ready to go into your calendar. Hope you enjoyed doing this with me. See you next time.